When we first formed Blind, I don't think I had a grand vision as to what it is that we wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be in business for myself. I needed to find clients, but what we did, it wasn't a lot of structure to that. But I knew, forget print, forget corporate identity, forget everything else that I wanted to do or what I was planning to do. That was all cast aside because this whole world of animating, directing little characters really excited me, and that was it. I already knew at that point this is what I needed to do. But here's the thing, it wasn't until much later on that we figured out motion design was something that we can concentrate and should concentrate on. And that came out mostly because of marketing, having issues with how to market ourselves. Trying to be all things to all people made it very difficult for us to find work. Earlier on, we wanted to direct the live action, and that was an exotic thing, and we had to send DP reels and write all sorts of things to support the fact that we could shoot the live action. We always wanted to do more. We wanted to control more of the process, and there were always issues of things falling between the gaps, the handoff between the live action director, the editorial company, and then the motion design firm. Everybody would blame everybody else, so we thought let's provide an end-to-end solution, at least in the commercial world, where we're taking care of everything from the live action to editorial to the post work. And it became a thing from proving it every single time to just a fact that everybody just accepted. You didn't have to prove it anymore. And then this thing called the internet happens and it starts to transform every single thing. This is like 1999 when stupid money was being thrown around. I saw all these graphic designers making $500, $600, $700, some as much as $800 a day. So that wave pushed everybody's salaries up, and I think it was great for everybody. Now, fast forward a couple of years, it being a time when post-production facilities are shutting down, there's downward pressure from agencies and clients of all types to do things for less, yet still want the same kinds of things. And then there's upward pressure from freelancers who still want to charge the same day rate that they've been getting. So as a small size company, we're getting crushed from both ends. So you can see there, these kind of forces are working towards us figuring out how to do things differently. So we knew if we didn't change and pivot, we would soon be out of business, as many companies have. But that's an assumption on our part. The question is, we have to spend time defining the problem. So we need to have a better definition of this. Define the question. Matt, you and I, Greg, you guys know this is the magic of what we do. I take great pride in bringing in young designers who are looking to learn, to grow, to get real experience, and also seeing them grow personally and professionally. And I can tell the ones that are going to do really well. They have a leadership quality. They're very optimistic about what it is that they look at. Problems aren't problems per se, they're just things to be solved. And so it's no coincidence that the two creative directors that work here were former students of mine.
Like everything is some kind of learning experience where we have to figure something out together and work as a team. And that's something that makes me really happy. And I think that Chris is an excellent leader in terms of trying to strategize and not only just tell you what to do, but like bestow information and wisdom upon you.
He's constantly pushing me. Himself, he's always about improving his process, his method, and always chasing after new stuff. In turn, just being around that, I'm kind of doing the same. So I never feel very kind of like stagnant or kind of settled down here. I constantly feel like I'm challenged in this environment just because of what Chris has done.
We have a set of core values at Blind, one of which is to embrace and drive change. And for some time, I think it's just something that's nice to say and to think about, but there's a quote that I think puts in perspective. Change is inevitable, progress is a choice. As creative as we are, as much as we like to say we're problem solvers, really hold on to old ways of thinking, old process, because it's most comfortable. And if you get into a time crunch, you're gonna fall back on these techniques that you know have worked for you in the past. But the internet is a disruptive force. It changes everything. So what we want to do is to make sure everybody here is not ever so comfortable with the way they do things, so that when a new idea emerges, an opportunity presents itself, as in, say, with desktop video or something else, whatever the new thing might be, that they're not only open to it, but they're going to embrace it and incorporate it, and we can move forward. We've been looking at it, like almost going backwards in time, looking at everything that we have to offer and trying to find a solution where We can help clients out from the beginning to the end, not just working with a finished script or TV spot, but to conceptualize that. And in order to do that, we needed to incorporate strategy into our practice, and that's been the arc that we've been on in the last 2 years. So with change comes a lot of headache, but also comes a lot of opportunity. Instead of focusing on the money not being what it used to be, because it never is, focus on what opportunities are available to you. Today with YouTube, with Vine, with Twitter, you're able to develop an audience, communicate to them directly, and you can reap the rewards of that. There are filmmakers, designers, guys like Andrew Kramer, who's able to share his knowledge with the world, share his process, and do it in an entertaining, educational way. And he's able to sell his product that way too. J.J. Abrams, director of Star Trek and all these wonderful things, soon to be Star Wars, he saw those and was a fan of the tutorials. And then he hired him to do the titles for Fringe and for Star Trek. That's a pretty awesome thing that can exist now, where you can have dialogue with all sorts of people in ways that you could have never done before. There's so many opportunities there, especially as the tech gets better. I think that's a whole nother opportunity, a whole new world to explore, and one that I think designers can play a really important role in if you're willing to go down that path. And I, for one, am. To me, to be a designer in 2015, it's the most exciting time to be alive. Sure, there are a lot of changes that we're going through right now, and a lot still has to be resolved, but the opportunities are infinite if you know where to look and if you stop complaining about the way things aren't anymore. Let go of that. Look at what you have to offer. I look at myself and say, I can help clients tell a story and deliver it on any screen, whatever size, doesn't really matter. It could be linear, it could be non-linear, as in interactive music video. It could be a static frame, a poster, a logo, something like that. But what I have to do is I have to be willing to step up and be able to talk in real business terms with them what their goals are. I gotta stop being a graphics person, because design is much bigger than graphics. My name is Chris Doe, and I'm the founder and CEO of Blind.